apparently we have to hold Jaren's hand through the research process on this one. Um, Jesuit Jeran, first of all, we'll talk about his background being Jesuit trained in Jesuit high school that he admitted to. So yeah, he's totally a trustworthy individual, completely. But yeah, let's ask Jaron a question. Does the camera settings make the sun higher in the sky? No. I can tell you that right now. I may not be an expert when it comes to cameras, but I sure as hell know that the settings isn't going to change where the sun position is in the sky. And it's a 360 camera. It's the same exact camera. Like, but okay, go ahead and make up your stuff and say it's, we're ridiculous. When you're ridiculous, this is clearly, look at that. Look at the difference between the sun, the size, the it's in the same place, same time of year, and it's totally different. But whatever, bro. Like, maybe if you would have just listened to the next 30 seconds after the clip you played, and done a tiny bit of research yourself, you would have heard that I wasn't joking. I was laughing because of the ridiculous claim that it wasn't possible to make to just rewind some image or create a CGI sun or whatever and make it move back and forth in the sky, whatever direction you want it to go. So that was what I was referring to, and I'll play the clip for you here again because clearly you don't know how to do research yourself. And also, stay tuned for afterwards for other examples of the poor research that Jaron does. And I haven't even been paying attention to him for the past 7 years. This is just what I picked up in the past couple of weeks of listening to the nonsense coming out of his mouth from watching his footage. Maybe he should lay off the cup of noodles and cokes. I think they're rotting his brain. Let's take advice from the guy who eats hot soup with a plastic fork and opens his coke with a metal spoon. Oh, Jaron, please teach me your ways. I need to learn from you.
Clockwise, meaning if you're sitting in the middle of the sun, the sun's going around you, it goes from right to left, which from above is like counterclockwise. Whereas in the north, it goes clockwise around you, meaning from left to right. So it's completely the opposite. And we have footages from both regions showing like authentic clouds. Like it's not, because if you reversed it, like, birds would be flying backwards or just anything, things like that, even though there's no birds in Antarctica, but yeah, you can't
The
you
birds
can't
wouldn't be
just
flying
reverse
backwards.
footage like that. Like it's completely going the opposite
Flip
way.
it. You can easily flip it. You wouldn't know unless you figured out who the people that went and you compared their right side of their face from their left and be like, oh, their left is on their right.
Well, I did.
Yesterday, in which he surpassed even Dean Odle for most unlikely possible TFE refutation. I thought that Dean Odle's Satan turned into the sun and went backwards was far fetched, but no, that one at least I can give Dean Odle credit. Like Satan probably has the capability to become the sun and go backwards in the sky. However, Dave Weiss thinks that whoever they are, think fake. And you tell me what you guys think of this video. Now, tell me, as researchers, as actual people who think they can look into anything, is this video worth even sending to me in the least bit? Let's watch.
But I wasn't even meaning to. I was just going back and forth with it. It's from,
Okay, here we go.
on the left is from Geo's, well, not Geo's skydiving, but from the video that he says is the only other video that we've been able to find of 24-hour sun footage from the south. And only some of it can we really even use because it does this like weird circle thing through most of it or whatever. But I wasn't even meaning to. I was just going back and forth with it, and I'm like, oh, look, the sun is moving the opposite direction. And he said that it couldn't be done, and I'm accidentally debunking it just while looking at this. But you can see the sky itself does look like it's so much darker at the top. The sun's so much smaller. This is only maybe a couple weeks apart from each other. They were there around the same time at the same place. So there are differences even in this footage.
Okay. That was
from on the left.
Probably the worst video ever made. And Vika puts this out as like a short. Like, guys, we have lost our freaking minds. What are you doing? This girl just said, oh, I was watching this video, and because I could play it backwards and forward, you can watch. She's rewinding it and playing it forward. Right? See how she's rewinding it, then playing it forward. So she says, oh, and they say that the sun can't go the other way, and I just debunked that by doing this. She didn't. She's joking. She is joking. She's not saying the sun went backwards. Listen again. Where does she say the sun went backwards? She's joking.
Because it does this like weird circle thing
Listen.
most of it or whatever. But I wasn't even meaning to. I was just going back and forth with it, and
I was just going back and forth with it.
I'm like, oh look, the sun is moving the opposite direction, and he said that it couldn't be done, and I'm accidentally debunking it just while looking at this.
Oh yeah, she's accidentally debunking it by looking at this because she's rewinding it and playing it forward. Okay, so that's one thing. So I go back to the guy who sent me this video. I'm like, that's the worst video ever made. Why did you send that to me? He's like, oh, I just want your opinion of it. I'm like, opinion of what? He's like, the sun's going backwards. I'm like, no, it's not. Go watch the video again. Do not send that to me ever again. Then he goes back. Before he goes back, he's like, well, what about the sky being different colors? I'm like, do you know what the camera settings were? How can somebody who thinks that they can research things look at two videos and say the sky looks different and therefore there's a problem? Is it the same exact camera? Well, then one of them has the settings wrong or different. Hello? We don't have the ability to say that. We don't have the ability to know that. You have to send it to me. Then I said, does that not make sense? He's like, yeah, well, what about the other thing? I said, what other thing? He said, the sun is a different size. I said, it's the same thing I just told you. How do you know the settings of the camera? Oh, I don't. Dude, I mean, we are faltering. This is the lowest level of debunking, of inquiry that I've ever seen. And it's embarrassing. And he solidified my decision to get out of the flat earth. I will not be part of people who think that they have the ability to debunk scientists when they think that because the sun is a different size in a video that it's something that they need to bring to my attention. Go take any two cameras outside and film the sun. It will be different. Do you understand? If you rewind videotape, that's not the sun going backwards. That's you rewinding it. When one sky is dark and one sky is bright, that is because of the settings of the camera. These things need to be thought of not by me. You need to be able to figure them out. And like I said, this person's a friend. This person should be way above this level. This video is trash, let alone be brought to my attention. It's trash. Vika made a trash video. It has no reason to be on the internet. There's no reason for this video to exist. It's wrong. It's bringing up things that aren't even relevant. That's like credit to Busted Soul on YouTube. Oh yeah, I'll give a lot of credit. Vika, she was joking, as she clearly said in her laughing. She's like, and I debunked it because look, you said it couldn't be done, and here I am doing it. It's a joke. She's not saying the sun's going backwards. Okay? It's not saying the sun's going backwards. Okay? Moses says, Jeran, does your observations of boats not going over the horizon just disappear and thus racket observation, or you are just picking your facts now? No, I need to relook at everything. Everything that we do, but that's not the same as this video. That's not the same as this video. Did anybody make the boat jokingly go behind the curve? And then I said, that's not actually going behind the curve. And they're like, it's a joke. This was a joke. She's joking. And then it has to do with camera settings. Guess what? It's not camera settings setting boats behind horizons. So get your stuff together. There's a big difference. I told you that I had a mental block that was there, that had to be removed. I want to write a book about it. I can't even explain it. Because when you're in it, you put everything through this filter of basically what you're doing is, okay, the globe is definitely false, right? We've all heard people start out with that. And so everything that you do is a biased position. And we know that you can't be biased. And now, you might say, but Jeran, all the globers are biased too. Yeah, there's a difference. It kind of seems like they're right. They are biased. But what they're talking about sometimes is right. Whereas sometimes we might be right, but not about these particular important things like the shape of the earth. Okay? Let me explain why. We're going to go through it all.
How about you go through, how to use a compass, maybe how to burn a piece of paper with the supposed sun that you claim the only way to burn a piece of paper is with the sun. So I guess you haven't seen like the dozens at least, or probably more, of videos, people burning paper and various objects with 500-watt light bulbs or lasers or high-powered flashlights. But oh no, according to him in this video, which I posted like a week or two ago, this is the only way. This is proof. I'm not going to turn the camera around and show you the sun. I'm just going to sit here and and try to burn this paper. Clouds don't move in this also. It's his shadow, which doesn't match up with this shadow of the this dome over here. So how do you explain that? You want to teach us about shadows next, Jeran? Um, you think that you could have brought something to prove to us other than a magnifying glass that that's the real sun? Like it's pretty pathetic, bro. I can't even believe that. Like I have to be breaking all this down once again. But it speaks for itself. All of these pictures, all of these things. He doesn't know how to use a compass. He literally is, or he's purposely fooling us, trying to fool us by showing a compass that is clearly flipped over, that doesn't work. Super deceptive. I know this is a rerun for some of you guys, but clearly not for this idiot who also doesn't know how to ride a bike. So that was pretty funny to watch him trying to ride a bike, and the weird anomalies with the tire and the snow like gliding across the tire looking like totally CGI. But yeah, we're the crazy ones for using our eyes and our brains. And I don't remember if I included this clip or not in another video, but Witsit claimed that he could only bring one bag, one carry-on, and one check bag. But then he said in Karen's that he had two, that he could bring two bags, and there's a picture of him with two bags. I need to go through and find it, but I thought that was it never ends with these professional time wasters. They'll just keep on going and going.
And I'm here at just go to the moon. Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you go?
I'm here at just go to the moon.
I just addressed the telemetry data thing, dude. Okay, it's $350.
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence.
Yes, I raised money for it. First, I didn't get enough money for it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to send this money back to this guy, and for the $100 that first got sent to me, and then I ended up getting enough for it. Okay. Then I went and got the program. I pulled all the telemetry. I started reaching out to everyone, telling them to send me their GoPro stuff, and it shows my actual home address. And I've tried everything I possibly can to get it to remove that part of the data. And if I just brute force edit it out, obviously that's going to be a whole freaking conspiracy. Oh, see, they can't give the raw data of the GoPro because I'm a super truther. That must mean that actually they were in Iceland and whatever other nonsense they're going to say. So I am absolutely not putting out raw telemetry data with my family's home address.
Where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
Have you really thought about what it would take to fake a moon landing? Because the rocket did launch. We all saw the rocket launch, okay? So there's hardware there. They're like office buildings of blueprints for the design of the Saturn V rocket. The hundreds of engineering hours that went behind this and the records of those designs. If you wanted to fake the moon landing, you would have to fake all of these documents. And it just seems to me it's way easier to just go to the moon. Has anyone considered that?
So this is the screenshot of where the seam is that I kept referencing when I was talking to him, and Elbow came in and tried saying, oh, it's just where the stitching together is. Like, they say this without actually going and looking where the stitching would be in the video. Here's where the stitching is on the video. There's where the camera is. The line goes up from that camera, and it's still there in Witsit's footage. It's super faint. You have to zoom in and, whatever, but they've clearly tried to blur it out, and, it's just obvious. Like, there's something like, I can't tell you what they did, but I can tell you that it's some bullshit. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say, you know, that I don't agree with Weiss. I think the next move is gonna be, you know, now they realize that they're losing and that there's more of us not believing it. Like, you know, what's it said, 20%. I'm thinking more like 20% believe this shit's real, and they're like losing control. So they got to get Weiss to go in and now claim that Witsit was fooled. He's just a victim. Poor Witsit. Oh, he didn't know that it was a fake laser whatever sun. You know, it's just it's stupid. So here's Flat Earth Reset's channel. I suggest everybody go and sub if you're interested in the old scams of Effie Core and Jeran and Bob and pretty much the whole Flat Earth group. He was a flat earther, so he wasn't over here trying to, you know, be a glober and saying, you know, whatever arguments. He's literally a flat earther, just pointing out all of the bullshit. And he's got dozens and dozens of videos. I don't have time to you know, make a comprehensive list and do all this, but if you're curious and you want to go check them out, they're all here from 6-7 years ago. They sued people, they tried to sue people or send them letters, same way that Witsit just threatened to sue me. Some people got scared, you know, and deleted their stuff. Other people, like, you know, Flat Earth Reset obviously knows his rights and knows that he's not doing anything wrong. This is all public information. There's no reason for him to get scared and pull everything down, because these people are just, they're full of shit. They're not actually going to pull the trigger because they don't want their laundering scheme to get exposed. So, yeah, there's way too much to cover, and even, you know, in even a dozen videos, it's you can go look through yourself. It's pretty pathetic that Witsit clearly doesn't, you know, pretends like he doesn't know, just like he pretended he didn't know the arguments and pretended he didn't watch my presentation. And when I asked him about specifics, he just, oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I didn't see that part. Oh, I don't know. Let's just talk about Vapegate all day, and let's just talk about seeing my breath forever, and you know, and then just call everybody a bunch of names and be a, you know, you heard it. Anyways, this is all very telling, all of these people, and you know, make up your own mind on all this. But I'm not over here trying to ask for money or trying to build my channel. I'm probably gonna go back into hibernation here soon and work on my own projects and stuff. And also, on a side note, listening to Kai and Witsit go on about how, like, scared they are of me, and that, oh man, you know, she's a girl like her, a person like her will get you know, will dox us. I had the chance to dox them. I don't do that. That's not what I do. I blacked out their address before I posted all of the police records. So yeah, like, I already proved myself before that whole conversation that I am not going to do that, but I will post public information and I will defend myself, and you know, and fight back when people attack me. And they definitely underestimated me, and think that they can just talk down on people and be rude to them. And I was, you know, basically a nobody, hadn't been making any videos or doing anything in the scene. And the way that he spoke to me was so rude and ridiculous that, like, he created the troll. This is exactly what happened with Effie Core years ago. Like, there was all these people that were in it, and they weren't trolls, and then they became the trolls because they were getting trolled themselves and just lashed back. And, you know, like, be aware of how you're treating people, because you never know if someone's gonna come back and, you know, and bitch slap you right back and not take it. There's a lot more of us out here than what they think, and it's not very Christian of them the way that they treat people and talk to people. So yeah, I've been thinking for a long time that he's been LARPing as a Christian, and all you gotta do is go listen to his Adam Green debate. I put air quotes because it was more of him like kissing dude's ass and didn't know any of his own arguments, and was, like, I don't know, trying to befriend him, and it was about as cringy as his Trump debate, where he didn't know any of the Trump arguments either and got his ass handed to him. And this is what fake people do. Like, this was part of his work plan. He had to cover these mainstream normie topics, and clearly isn't into them. Otherwise, he would have done a little bit of research into them before he attempted to debate somebody on it. Effie Core just needed a Christian mouthpiece to get all them Christian bucks, man. As he obviously isn't a real Christian. You can tell by the way that he talks and treats people. And I mean, if he really was, practicing what he preaches, he wouldn't be spitting on his wife's face. He wouldn't be talking down on people he doesn't know on the internet and diagnosing everybody with mental disorders, because we literally look at things with a critical, open mind. But yeah, I mean, I know this is all obvious to you guys. I'm probably just gonna cut it short now, but yep, keep them wallets closed. I think that's the only way that we win against them, is by ignoring them. Even though I haven't been ignoring them, but whatever, he asked for this shit. And just stay aware and don't give them any money.